go ahead and read this to yourselves real quick, okay? And then if you had, I got a copy of it here. So the question is, I guess, can we deduce from this information that's given, and you see the given information is not too much, can we deduce from this that this is a parallelogram, okay? So what I've laid out for you are some tools that you can use in order to try to figure that out, okay? So I gave you guys a protractor, there's a couple of rulers here, there's these sticks, actually kind of fun, they kind of stick together like this. Right? So you can make your own like parallelogram out of it and mess with it, okay? There's different sizes and stuff, and you got pencils if you need a pencil. You can use the grid paper if you want, okay? What I'd like you to do is take some time. I want to first ask, is there anything here that you don't understand as far as vocabulary or anything else? Yeah, you understand what a parallelogram is? Not really. Okay, so we don't understand what a parallelogram is. Okay. So does anybody know kind of the idea of
Parallel have never crossed each other?
Right, so parallel, you've got parallel, two lines that don't cross each other, right? So in this case is the quadrilateral where there are two lines that don't cross each other, okay? Which two lines here do you think are parallel?
Line
Okay, so if this was a parallelogram, those would be parallel lines, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that would make a parallelogram. Parallelogram is a quadrilateral, okay? So the question is, given the information we have, do we know for sure that this, can we deduce that this is actually a parallelogram quadrilateral? Does that make sense to you guys? Can we deduce that? Okay. I saw you started looking at the lines. What were you looking at?
When I was reading this, it said that line A and B is congruent to line C and D.
Okay, what is line A, B? Okay, and what is line C, B? Okay, so when it says congruent, do you know what that means? Equal to. Or the same, okay? So does that make sense to everybody? So it means same, means equal to? Okay. So those were the two pieces of information you know, so you started looking at those. What about the other pieces of information? AD, okay. Now, if you understand congruent, you understand what that means, and you think they're the same, can we from there determine that this is a parallelogram? So if this is a parallelogram, what does that mean? I want you to think about that. So I want you to take maybe 2 minutes, maybe take a minute. You have partners, you have elbow partners. You guys familiar with elbow partners? Yeah. Talk to your elbow partner. What I want you to do is I want to talk about what do you know about this and what can you deduce from it just based on the information you have. Take about 2 minutes, I'll listen, okay?
All time.
It's not a parallelogram?
It's not? What is it?
Yeah. These are intersected. These are intersected. The A, B, C, D is parallel.
But it's a parallel.
I'm saying that A, B is very intersected.
Because they're intersected at this point.
Not intersected.
Their angles, huh?
I mean, they're intersecting at these points. At these points. Yeah.
Because I say that in two intersections.
Yeah. Right.
No, CD, the intersection. Because you know that way,
Go ahead.
Oh, because you know that one we learned today? Like the triangles? I think you are interested in
Okay. Here's what I'd like to know. Is there any other information you guys might need in order to help you with this? Is there any information you guys think? Why don't you guys jot down some things that you think you might need in order to be able to figure out if this is a parallelogram, okay? Jot it down. And you can talk as well. Go ahead. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. Write it down, talk. What information you guys think you need?
like the angles.
But wouldn't these two be parallel?
But I see that because the intersect with this line.
Where it is. I don't know, I think it's a parallel.
Because A and D is intersecting with B. Right there. At that angle.
Yeah.
Intersecting.
What?
That's an obtuse angle.
Yeah, it's okay.
C and A are obtuse, and B and angle D and angle B.
Wait, so take one way.
C and C are
These are two.
Already for next year.
And D and B.
What is this?
Yeah, those are for you to use. Any of the stuff that you see here.
90 degrees.
Oh yeah, it's equal to
Actually, I'm doing this right now. It's like this, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, too. And then the bottom.
I was
I don't
in
know.
There's a line up from the bottom that you need to line.
Oh, yeah.
No, you
66.5.
see the point where these two intersect?
yeah.
Here, because
You
I
wanna
used to
put
use
that.
this ones, but I forgot.
At the point of the angle. Yeah. And you put this line
Yeah, you guys
along
familiar with
the
that?
adjacent side.
I was, but I forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a long, yeah. So to use the tool, if you're going to try to use the tool, well, first of all, why do you want to use this? That's I want to ask
Find
this.
the measurements of the
Then you can measure the
Okay,
angle.
so we just don't remember how to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that angle?
So the flat, this side goes along
Okay? Top two, right?
the straight side, and this goes on your vertex.
The acute
Okay.
scale and the
Okay,
obtuse
so
scale.
so the center of the protractor goes along the vertex.
On the obtuse scale.
Okay.
Okay?
So it's gonna be like 115.
Careful.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, huh?
115.
So
it's
that's
an
angle
obtuse.
A, huh?
Close.
So 115.
Sorry, guys.
Angle A.
Anyway, 17.
Angle A.
What'd you get for that angle?
Is it harder to what? Go
Yeah.
ahead. Is it harder to
Like,
measure
are we
the?
supposed to use this one or this one?
Well, what kind of an angle do you have?
Oh.
What kind of angle is it?
I think this is an acute.
It's okay. Is that an acute angle?
Yeah.
Okay, so if it's an acute angle, which scale do you use?
The top one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They never told me.
If it's an acute angle, which scale?
This is an acute.
No, it's an acute angle. So which scale are you going to use here?
obviously it depends on how you mark and how you're creating the angle, right? But
You see, this starts at 180, right? So is that really that helpful? It starts at 180?
It's 71.
Check the other one. What do you get on that other scale?
did you get it?
For this other leg over here.
Like 70.
Okay, so here's my question: why are you guys finding the angles? What are the angles doing for you?
Now we learn like how to find angles.
In order to make the angle, you want to see where this
If they're in the same size and everything, if they're in the same size and they add to
on the 70 and 60 scale.
Okay, and that has to do with what?
Angle, right? So what number do you think this is?
So when you say the same side, they add the 180. Same side of what?
60 what?
You remember?
same side interior.
Okay, and same side interior, exterior. But now we're getting into the words that are on here. What's the word that we have on here? What's the key here? We want to make sure these are parallel. Okay. So I want you guys to think about what you're doing now. Okay. So what did she say? What did she say? I forgot your name. What was your name again? Okay. So what did she say? What did you say?
That we were learning about how to find the angles.
Okay. So we're finding angles. Why? Okay. Do you understand what we're trying to do with angles? Okay. So let's try to utilize those angles to see if we have a parallel.
This line.
Okay. Give me a reason.
What's that measurement? Okay. So, once we get 112, right?
67.
Okay, and then measure the other triangles and see what you get over there.
That's a cute
Say it again. What was it?
Angle B is 60.
I'm doing it wrong. I'm doing
Angle B
it
is 65.
Yeah, I'm doing it wrong.
Angle B is 67. 66. Angle B is 65.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Angle B is 65.
Yeah.
Really?
Now you got me looking. What do we got?
What? Which one?
Yeah, 67.
Yeah.
Me?
Oh, you got 68?
I got 68.
What? What's the same?
68. What would you put 67?
68.
67.
What are your suspicions right now? What are you thinking should be happening? I think you guys have
Because we're
like.
learning something else. Did we learn yesterday? That we add all the angles and we're supposed to add to 180 or something like that. The interior angle.
It's like on triangle.
Oh, the triangle.
For triangles, yeah. Okay. We're talking about triangles. Okay.
Yeah. Because it has 4 sides.
So are you guys familiar with, again, the word parallelogram? Are you guys familiar with what that is? Have you guys learned about it? Not too late you learn about it.
I'm not sure. Skipped
It's
it.
not the word parallel.
Well, you know parallel, right?
Parallel.
Okay, when did you learn about parallel?
It was this year. Huh?
Learn about parallel this year?
Yeah.
Okay. So what does it mean if lines are parallel?
They don't intersect. One is above and the other one's below.
Okay. And they don't intersect.
No.
Okay. And you were talking about how these angles should add up to what?
180.
And what is that called? Okay, that's called a straight line. Okay. All right. So you guys found the angles. Is there any more information you guys need? You're still working on the angles. slopes the same?
Both angles.
And they're congruent, so there's the same angle, same measurement.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay. All right. So do we have what we call a parallelogram? If this is a parallelogram, what can we say about? I just want to, because we're running out of time. What can we say about parallelogram? What do you think is happening with side AD with side BC? What kind of lines are they? They're straight, but it's remember we're talking about a parallelogram, right? So line AD and line BC should be what? In a parallelogram.
Vertical? No. Is it vertical?
No? No? Okay. Can I give you another piece of information? Let me give you some more. Here's my other piece of information.
Like, I remember we learned something about
This might be helpful. You guys are in math 2 right now, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember math 1? Here's another piece of information. We're taking the same diagram and we drew it on grid paper. Okay? The angles are something in it, but I want you to see another piece of information that might be helpful to you. This is a parallelogram. Let's define it real quick, okay? A parallelogram, I'm just going to help you define it because again we have to move with the time. A parallelogram is a quadrilateral. I'm just going to write it down. It's a quadrilateral. What does quadrilateral mean? 4 sides, right? Quadrilateral has 4 sides with each pair of opposite sides are parallel to each other. Okay. Give me a pair of opposite sides, please. One pair of opposite sides. A what? No, not angle, sides. Give me one. Give me an opposite side to AB. An opposite side to AB. DC. Okay. So these are opposite. What else are opposite sides? AD and CB are opposite. So if these are opposite sides, if it's a parallelogram, if this is a parallelogram, that means that these sides are parallel to each other. Okay? You guys remember that?
Yeah.
Okay, so these are parallel to each other. So, if this is a parallelogram, AB is parallel to DC, AD is parallel to CB. Can you determine if this is a parallelogram based on the information I just gave you? Is AB parallel to DC and AD parallel to CB? Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you know? I want you guys to figure that out. How do you know?
Like,
And they'll be the same angle.
Like, if you take away this angle,
Spanish teacher.
that's the reason for it.
There's a reason he's not teaching math, right?
My claim to fame is that I had Escalante as my teacher.
Yeah, the what?
I had Jaime Escalante as my teacher.
Can't hear you.
So how do you
If
know
these
those are
two-
parallel?
If these 2 lines wouldn't be here, these
My
would
teacher.
Oh,
be the
did you?
same thing.
Yeah,
And these
I
2 would be here.
remember
I
anything.
was just thinking.
That's what congruent means, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so they'd be the same thing. How do we know they're parallel? What is the definition of parallel lines?
2 lines and then
They never intersect. Very good. Yes. So if they never intersect, what can we say? We'll just add one more word in there for you. What can we say about their slopes? Infinity slopes? Let's go with this one. Parallel lines, right? I'm going to write it down. Have, what kind of slopes are they? Have, what word am I going to put in there? Have what kind of slopes? Remember parallel perpendicular? Remember that? Oh, I gotta remember. Oh my gosh, so parallel lines never cross, right? What's the slope of this line? 1. How do you know?
So this is 3 up.
Uh-huh.
So it's, sorry, I'm the right. 3 and 3.
That's good.
3 up, 3 to the right.
Good. Do you all see that? I remember slope. I remember slope. I remember. So if they're parallel, wait, hold on. They never cross, right? Are these parallel lines? Will these lines? Will this line ever cross this line?
No.
Why?
Is that on the side?
Well, that's one, but why? But wait, hold on. Let me give you another one.
They have the same slope.
If, oh, what was that?
They have the same.
Does this line have the same slope as this line?
No.
If I drew this line out here and further, and I drew this line out further, would they eventually cross?
Yes.
Yes, they would eventually intersect, right? So what kind of slopes do they have if they're parallel? You said it.
I said it?
Yes. Will these lines ever cross? Will these lines ever cross each other? No, they won't. So what kind of slopes? Does this have the same slope as this one?
Yeah.
So parallel lines have the same slopes. The same slopes. Okay, so now let's go back to our diagram. Okay? Let's go back to our diagram. So, is this a parallelogram? What is a parallelogram again? Let's go back to this. Each pair of opposite sides are parallel to each other. So that means AB and DC are opposite sides that are parallel. AD and CB are parallel. Are these parallel lines? Is this a parallelogram?
How could you check considering what you just discussed?
Yeah, can you figure that out? Just based on what we just talked about here. How could you figure it out there? Is this a parallelogram?
So it's, you have to move.
Oh, huh?
Isn't it have to go? Isn't it have to go 1 up, 1, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Do your right.
I mean,
Are you counting all of them? From each line?
I got C.
What'd you get C to do?
Okay, let's go one more. How are we doing right now? What questions do you have?
I know because I got confused where, because I put 4 or 5 back and was that right?
You put 4 over 5. Okay, what don't you think you did right?
Because I know slope has a formula.
It has a formula.
I know it's something over something.
What is it? Rise over run. Oh, I remembered it. Remember rise over run. Okay. So did she do it right? Is it 4 over 5? Which one are you looking at?
D and A.
DA. Okay, so we're looking at that line segment DA.
Wait, no. Yeah.
Is that the slope of DA? Is 4 over 5 the slope of DA? Okay.
Did you draw your slope triangle?
Have you guys ever drawn a slope triangle before? You haven't?
Well, draw the 4 and draw the 5.
So you
along
do.
the
So you
grid.
go like you start here and you draw you go up your rise and then you run. This is your slope triangle. Remember that? Yeah, that's your slope triangle. Yeah. Okay. So my first question then, since you just found AD, is AD parallel with CB? Is AD parallel with CB? Okay, so I want you to do it. Now I want you to figure out too. So is AD parallel to CB? AD, no, AD and CB are parallel with each other.
Yeah.
Okay? So write down your findings. And then I want you to figure out if the other pair of parallel sides are also that. Is AD parallel to CB?
Was it a perfect
Almost there. We're going to get this. We're going to get it this way, and we're going to get it in the next 2 minutes. I'll show you. I'll explain how. Okay, so they're parallel. So AD and BC or AD and CB are parallel, correct?
Yeah.
All right. Is DC and AB parallel? Are those opposite sides parallel?
And
AB.
look at the triangle. Look at the triangle.
Could be 2
9 over 2, I heard. And I heard 2 over 9 over here. So which one is it? 9 over 2 or 2 over 9?
triangle like this.
It's rise over run. It's rise over
Yeah.
2 over
What's your
9.
rise?
Rise goes down to
Rise is rise this way or this way? Yeah.
And then run it through something.
Okay, so what's the slope of AB?
2 over 9.
And what's the slope of DC?
Two over 9.
2 over 9. Okay, so it's AB and CD parallel.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, since
Yeah, same thing.
both pairs of sides are parallel, what can we call this shape? A parallelogram.
Right? Because both
Right.
pairs of opposite sides are parallel.
So we have proven it using slopes. So we know it's a parallelogram.
Yeah.
Exactly. That was 6th grade, right?
Yeah.
We've proven it using slopes. So you started going into angles. The next step to this would actually be to say, okay, now I know what parallelogram is, what it looks like, and why it is. What could I say about angle A and angle C? What could I say about angle B and angle D? Remember when you guys started measuring all that stuff out? And you started noticing something, right? And then you've been talking about parallel lines with transversals. Let me do a little quick drawing here. If I extended this line, and I extended this line, have you seen this kind of a diagram before? What do we know about alternate interior angles? Interesting, because these are parallel. We already said they're parallel, right? Yeah. This is a transversal. What would you call these angles? These are interior angles, or same side interior angles
And what do you know about same side interior angles?
that they add to 180. And then
Corresponding angles.
yeah,
The supplementary angles and linear pair angles, same side interior.